I recently watched a programme made a few years ago called Michael Burke on What Are Men For? I watched it here on the Tube. I guess this was made for or by the BBC, I don't know. He starts out, Michael Burke, saying men and masculinity are being marginalised. Manly virtues are now laughed at. Men are being edged out of the family, the workplace, and wider society. Michael's trying to get an emotional response. He's taken a strong position, yeah? I actually like Michael Burke and a lot of the stuff he's done. Didn't particularly like this, though. Disagree with many of his statements here. I think his outlook here is a narrow one. Yeah. There's an author called Melanie Phillips who makes some contributions on this programme too. Again, disagree with many of her assertions, statements. Then there's some relationship expert called Karen Krasanovich, so-called relationship expert, who thinks men are now an underclass in our society. Michael says the male sex is being demonized and the pendulum has swung too far in women's favour. Krasanovich says at one point, women can define themselves in many ways, but men only have their careers. What a load of bullshit. I'm a man, Karen. I don't define myself solely by my career. If I didn't have a job, I'd still be a man. Yeah. Is this programme perhaps guilty of being very selective with the statistics it puts forward? One bloke who Michael Burke interviews on the programme was saying there's a huge political pressure on males to be a new man, a politically correct construct of a new man, yeah. You know, personally, I'm not feeling such pressure, to be honest. I'm not. I'm not a new man, or an old man, or a man's man, or a woman's man. I'm just me, you know. Ever-changing in an ever-changing world. There's talk of the feminisation of Britain on this programme, and men losing their roles, and so on. Michael Burke, nor anyone else for that matter, has a monopoly on the right, the ability to define masculine. What are masculine characteristics? Well, that depends on who you talk to, doesn't it? I would say some people have a fixed, inflexible idea or set of ideas regarding the masculine character. My advice to men everywhere is be your own man. Just be yourself. Don't be somebody else's idea of a man. But of course, people are influenced by the little thing we call society, or the little thing we call culture. Cultural influence on the individual is undeniable. Michael Burke goes on to say, Men who act like women are clearly preferred in this society to men who act like men. And the promotion of caring, sharing, and emoting have effectively stigmatized traditional masculinity. Why should caring and sharing be considered unmasculine, Michael? And for that matter, why should traits such as empathy and sensitivity be regarded as almost, if not entirely, exclusively feminine traits? Someone answer me that. If concepts are flawed, if traditional ideas are kinda crap, restrictive, and not really accurately reflecting reality, or, reflecting how people really are, then surely, such ideas should be swept away, right? Since the beginning of time, the male of the species has always been the stronger of the sexes, Michael Burke says. I say that's a very debatable assertion there, Mikey. Very debatable, yes. And then Burke's final speech to finish the programme is just a bit silly, trying to get an emotional response. Okay, here's my position, such as it is. My values are my values, shared by some, despised by others. Whether my values are labelled as feminine or masculine, it doesn't really bother me. I don't care. I'm a humanist. I'm not a feminist or a masculinist. I'm a humanist. That's how I choose to identify. As far as a gender role goes, a social role, I'm not going to be dictated to, not by feminists, not by macho types either. I'll choose my own roles as much as I'm able. And I'll speak out against those who say stupid shit, because it's important to speak the truth as you see it, yeah? And that's not a masculine or a feminine value, it's just a value, and a good one, in my opinion. Having said all that, men and women are different, aren't they? I have noticed there's a difference, yes. The influence of biology is immense. Let's acknowledge that. Anyway, I'll catch you later, folks. All the best.